Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Spencer. Today we're going to be checking out what GB News Ben Leo has to say about the mass deportations that are going on at the moment in America. I'm hoping that we can learn from this as a country, because at the moment I feel like, and maybe a lot of other sort of right-wing people in the UK feel like they're living in Minnesota right now, where the lefties just seem to run the place. The government just panders to certain groups of people. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Fingers crossed we can do something about it.
Guess what? News from the White House here in Washington, D.C. strongly suggests that the 2.4 million illegal migrants who left America last year, 600,000 kicked out, the rest voluntarily left, has greatly improved the lives of Americans. Who would have thought, eh?
No
Not
way.
least with lower housing costs and record low crime. Hello, I'm Ben Leo from The Late Show Live at GB News here in Washington, D.C. And this is GB News Originals. As I said, who would have thought, eh? Kicking out people who broke into your country illegally. You don't know who they are, where they're from, what their intentions are. Well, it could be a good thing. Britain, take note.
That's one thing I've not actually considered is the housing. So thinking obviously more people you have, the prices of housing are going to go up, especially if government are paying it. But I hadn't really thought of that, to be honest.
Let's dive headfirst into what the US government is now hailing as a game changer. Mass deportations, well, they're not just working, they're completely transforming the American way of life for better. Plummeting crime rates, crashing housing costs, and a sigh of relief from hardworking families all across the continent.
Bring ICE.
So for
to
context,
the UK.
around 2.4 million illegal migrants left the USA last year under the Trump administration. That was in just 12 months. Something like 600,000 were forcibly removed by ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the guys you see on the news going around with the guns and arresting the illegals, while the rest voluntarily left before they were kicked out. So let's break it down, shall we? Let's start with crime, because the US government, under President Trump's no-nonsense administration, is touting the largest single-year drop in murders on record. Let me say that again. The largest single-year drop in murders on record in history. We're talking a national nosedive in murders that's got cities like Washington, D.C., where I am now, seeing a 60% drop year on year.
Nice.
Chicago, the fewest murders since 1965. And it's not just murders either. It's violent crime. Overall,
I was going to say, because I know that Chicago's big for even gang stuff, black on black crime, just gun crime in general. I seen a stat, it was like over 1,000 people shot in a year, and only 11 of them were police-related shootings. It's absolute madness.
Tumbling like a house of cards. But critics, you know the types, the Open Borders Brigade over at the likes of CNN, MSNBC, the BBC, Sky News, The Guardian, whatever. They'll say, yeah, but Ben, correlation isn't causation. Okay, fair enough. But let me tell you, when you deport over 1 million illegals in a single year, 2.4 million leaving in total, focusing on the criminals, the gang members, the ones with rap sheets longer than our list of recent prime ministers, what do you expect is going to happen?
Yeah.
The Department of Homeland Security here in the United States, basically their version of the Home Office, they're not mincing their words. 70% of ICE arrests are targeting convicted felons or those charged with serious crimes. Officer deaths are down 25%, traffic fatalities dropping as well, and even overdose deaths are plummeting by 34%. This isn't rocket science, it's common sense. Get the bad guys out and suddenly our streets are safe again, or at least getting safer. But there's more, because this isn't just about locking up the criminals and the bad guys. It's also about unlocking opportunity for everyday Americans, and we can have it too in the UK if we get a bit of common sense about us. Because in America, housing costs are cratering as well. They're plummeting in the very cities hit hardest by the migrant surge. The White House pumped this out last night. Here's the picture. I've got the data right here from Pew Research on the top 20 metro areas with the highest illegal migrant population.
I don't know about you, but I honestly don't see a way out of this for the UK. Like, I feel like it's just going to spiral and get worse and worse to the point where I'm looking at or considering or looking into how to get jobs and whatever in America, if that is even an option. It's been something I've wanted to do more or less my whole life, but now it seems like the time to do it if you're ever going to.
So take a look. In Austin, Texas, down 7.3%. San Diego, California, down 6.7%. San Jose, Washington, D.C., Miami, all seeing medium homeless prices fall like autumn leaves. And even in liberal strongholds like Los Angeles and Houston, prices are dipping by nearly 3%.
What about Minnesota?
In sanctuary cities such as Chicago, Seattle, where they've been slower to enforce immigration removals, well, prices are either flatlining or ticking up slightly. Coincidence? I think not. It's glaringly obvious to anyone with a brain that when you flood a market with extra demand from millions and millions of people who shouldn't be here in the first place, prices are going to skyrocket. Families get priced out, rents go through the roof, and the American dream turns into an American nightmare, which is why it always makes me laugh when I hear back home in the UK, ultra-liberal millennials at the likes of university camps and so on, calling for open borders, yet the next day crying and complaining that they can't afford rent or to buy a house. Obviously, yes, successive governments in the UK haven't been building enough homes. We all get that, we accept that. But you don't fix that problem by welcoming in millions more people like fuel to a fire. It just...
University, to me, is just a massive con as well. You get taught whatever they're teaching you. It's not as straight down the line. Like, they are lefties. All the teachers are lefties. You're just getting taught a lefty ideology, how everyone can get along. Like, all the people that I know that go to university, they just don't understand why you can't just have open borders and everyone just gets along. It's like they live in an alternate reality where that just doesn't happen. People, different minorities, ethnic groups, they don't get on. Hence why there's different countries for these people. You're trying to overwhelm one place and it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And of course,
exactly.
The naysayers are out in force. You've got the likes of American think tanks at the American Immigration Council whining about family separations and supposed economic chaos as well. Yeah, but deporting 8 to 10 million will shrink GDP, they cry. Rubbish. Latest GDP figures show America clocked more than 4% growth in the third quarter last year. Let me repeat that.
Jeez.
More than 4% growth in the third quarter last year. And even more is expected for the fourth quarter when figures are released imminently. Can you imagine back home in the UK, Rachel Reeves standing up to make an announcement to say the UK has more than 4%
She's a dumbass as
growth.
well.
Yeah, right. She wishes. Undocumented
she
workers,
would probably say
let's
that.
just call them for what they are. They're illegals, they're illegal migrants. They might fill jobs, but at what cost? Well, the cost is depressed wages, strained schools, overwhelmed hospitals, and studies show they commit crimes at rates that burden communities as well. Critics will say, and I've seen this online, that crime was already falling under Joe Biden. Okay, sure. A bit from pandemic peaks,
surely
but
not.
nothing
No
like
way.
this explosion of safety in 2025. Let me give you a real-world example. Let's take Memphis, Tennessee. Murders below 200 for the first time since 2019. Shootings down 40%. Or Washington, D.C., where carjackings are down 68%.
Jeez.
These aren't just stats, by the way.
Huge.
These are lives saved, families intact. And housing, well, in Austin, that 7.3% drop means a median home that was $500,000 last year is now under $465,000 this year. That's a down payment's worth of savings for a young couple.
That's a crazy drop, but still, like, 450k for a house. I want to know what sort of wages these people are getting for what jobs, you know? Like, is that even affordable just for two of you to have ordinary jobs and be able to buy a house in America? I don't even know if that's an option. I know it's pretty tough to do that over here, but still, like, probably the only thing you can ask for in your lifetime is to own your house and live long enough to enjoy it.
Couple starting out. This is what winning looks like. Get rid of the illegals, the people who aren't meant to be here, and things, for the most part, start getting better. But here's my opinion, straight up. This is the USA Americans were promised. For too long, politicians
100%.
pandered to the globalists, the Open Borders Brigade, letting borders become civs, while citizens who work hard to feed their families foot the bill. President Trump said he'd fix it, and he is. Mass deportations are dubbed cruel, which is debatable, maybe sometimes, but for sure, they're compassionate to the victims of crime each and every time, to the taxpayers squeezed dry, and to the kids who deserve safe streets and safe schools. So, in closing, for me, this is a watershed moment. The US government's own data screams success, safer streets, cheaper homes, a better quality of life, rebounding like never before. And if you're cheering this on in America, and you want to see this in Britain too, hit that like button, subscribe,
100%.
and share this video. Let's keep the pressure on back in Blighty, because America First isn't just a slogan. It's a reality. It's taking shape now this side of the pond. And we, you in Britain, could be next. And by God, don't we deserve to be? Thank you for watching. I'm Ben Leo, and this was GB News Originals. As I've said, if you like today's content, please like and subscribe below. And don't forget to download the GB News app.
That was decent. 100%. If I lived in America, I would live there because I would want to be or feel proud to live there. Do you know what I mean? I would happily walk away from the UK and become a US citizen. I think that everything that they're doing, especially now under Trump, is unbelievable. The main thing that needs to happen, though, is the Republicans have to win the next election as well, or like the midterms and stuff, whatever they're saying. So I think if the midterms go the other way, then he's going to cool down on what he's doing, because they're just going to immediately flip back and change what he's done. Because I think Joe Biden let in like 8 million illegal aliens, which is madness. I tried looking on ChatGPT to find how many people have come into the UK, but obviously because they're undocumented, it can't give a figure. And I tried asking in sort of what percentage of people that are on benefits are from other ethnic backgrounds or different countries, I would say. And it can't give you a percentage on that either, because they don't factor that in when they're taking all of their numbers into account, which I think is crazy. But I don't even like benefits for English people. Like, get off your ass and get a job, you fucking lazy bastard. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really hoping this country can follow America, but we've got a couple more years, 2-3 years left of Keir Starmer yet, and he's just going to destroy the UK 100%. But US as well also. They need to get the Somalians out of Minnesota. Like, what the fuck is going on over there? That whole state is a shithole. Tim Walz, Jacob Frey, they both need to go to prison as well, essentially. But I don't know. I'm going to keep up with this new stuff. I'm far from an expert, but I'm very much interested in it now after having my head in the sand from all of my 20s. I'm 33 now, I think. Yeah, I am. And, you know, I've kind of realised that it does affect everybody, so you need to know what's what and pick a side, essentially, or just float in the middle. I was more of a middle grounder for a little bit, and then I think the right makes sense for me. You know, I don't want to live somewhere that's an Islamic state, a Muslim country in general. I want to live somewhere where I enjoyed as a child with Christian values. And yeah, just fucking treat everyone as you want to be treated, as Jesus would have said, according to my primary school. But I don't know, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you've got anything to say about this topic, to be honest. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal motherfucker. I told you in the first song, I'll tell you in another. I'm just a regular, everyday